Good morning, and welcome to the studios of Opening the Door to the Unknown. I'm your host, Dr. Clark Schmidt, or Magus 100. Well, we're almost to the end of the series on ufology. In fact, we only got two more, this and also a review of. This is going to be a pretty short. This is going to be a pretty short video today, this morning, I should say, and it's on the Aviary. These are the people who have been coded with names of birds, and this is what we call the Black Lodge. These are the people who are the not just the skeptics, but also the complete debunkers in the UFO field. And this is one of the reasons why the ufologist is having a major hard time trying to get disclosure going either through Congress or through the White House. I think that I mentioned is that before John Podesta left, he said his only regret was that he could not bring out the top secret information that only certain people know with the Majestic 12. Now, I haven't talked about the Majestic 12 because is that a lot of people have written on the subject, like Stanton Friedman, and especially Stanton Friedman, who has put a lot of time and effort into the study of. I think is that the Majestic 12 was actually created by Harry Truman back in probably right before Eisenhower became president in the 50s. So I would have to say about 47, 48, 49, 50, right before the election. So between those years, okay. Now, a lot of people say is that the Majestic 12 did not exist. I think they did. Or, in fact, I still think to this day is that there are members on the Majestic 12. And like I said, maybe some of the people I'm going to mention here from the Aviary are part of that. I don't want to say conspiracy on UFOs, but I will have to say is again are people who are trying to continue to keep it hush hush. The Air Force says is that they're not into it anymore. In fact, back in 1990, in fact, after Blue Book came out, is that they decided not to continue to investigate. They said it was taking too much time and money, especially taxpayers' money, to put effort into the investigations of. With Majestic 12, is that, like I said, is that these are the people, you might even say a secret society, the Illuminati, that are kind of trying to put the kibosh on bringing out the truth of UFOs. Millions of I really don't want to say millions of people, but they always say is millions of people this, millions of people that. I look at it this way: is that lots of people have experienced sightings with UFOs, or having. Well, let's just say this: with close encounters 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, what is Close Encounter 1? that's just happened to seeing something out in the night sky that looks unfamiliar, that's not a plane or a helicopter or a missile or a meteorite or asteroid or another planet coming, uh, um, also I forgot about like the the International Space Station ISS or satellites or so what I'm trying to get at is it's that something that is completely unknown classified as a UFO. So there's been thousands of people who have experienced CE1s. CE2s are the actual landings uh, of the object themselves. CE3s is having some type of interaction with the occupants of, of the craft, and not saying is through abduction experience, but that comes to CE4, which is actually the abduction experience or the taking like the Travis Walton type, the Betty and Barney Hill type, the Anderson type, the Carla Turner type, for the abductions. Okay, and yet you have this organization or secret society that says UFOs don't exist. Well, this is what the Aviarian is saying as well. These are the people again who are the complete debunkers of UFOs, and they're trying to stifle everything. Now the question comes out: will they ever bring out the fact that that the UFOs truly exist? Yes, I would have to say sooner or later they're going to have to bring it out because because like I said, there's been so many people going back into going back into early 40s again, um, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. There's been again hundreds and hundreds of sightings in 2016 so far. So Dr. Stephen Greer and his organization have been trying to bring out the fact, is that it's time that the government, either again through Congress or through the White House, to actually bring out the truth that UFOs have existed for a long time, coming to visit our Earth, and even that aliens races are among us. Well, I say is, who cares? Okay, um, if there are races living amongst us, who cares? They might even be classified as a minority race. Okay, and with all the races that I mentioned before in one of the videos, is that yes, we do have some type of races that are detrimental towards humankind. They hate our guts. But that's like any, how should I say, um, animal. No, I don't want to say animal. It's like, I'm trying to think of, let's see. Well, let's just put it this way. Is that, like I said, there are subspecies that do hate our guts that are living here. And one is the reptilians. One is the, like the greys. And a few others, to where where also there are other races that like us. Okay, put it like this: is that the countries around the world, We have our allies, and we don't have our allies. The allies that like us will stick by us, and then you have the countries that are not allies of ours, just use us to get money from your pocket. Okay, so that's what I could say about these for the different alien races. Okay, uh, but like I said, I think at some point, it could be within the next year, um, Donald Trump might just say, "Hey, bring it out." It's been, that type of classification has been too long, and the people already know. They actually, there's many people that believe, so you might as well just bring the fact out that yes, they do it. Yes, is that UFOs do exist. They have been visiting our Earth for thousands of years, and there are aliens living amongst us. Okay. So, let me talk a little. I kept mentioning about John Bigelow. All right. If I remember rightly, a few years back, is that Bigelow was in aerospace. In fact, I think he still. In fact, I think he still is. Um, anyways, John Bigelow has always been an advocate on UFOs, major believer, you might say. And so what he did is that he became a board member, I think, of MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and that he made a deal, or he made up something with the Air Force that all UFO sightings, instead of going to the Air Force, would have to come directly to him. How he got that, I have no idea. But anyways, I did have a friend that was in the network. It's herself, and she didn't know. Like I said, this goes back. She was in it before Bigelow became a board member. But anyways, I said to her is that I really don't trust MUFON for some reason. I think it's a disinformation. MUFON is a different disinformation group, not like Nightcap or UFOIC or April or what is it, international or like the internet with Parker's organization, the International UFO Club or UFO International UFO Club or some damn thing like that. I can't really remember. Anyways, but came back to John Bigelow. Ah, yes, good old John. Is that so? Anyways, being a board member, being a member of MUFON. Well, anyways, while he was member, now I don't know if he still belongs to the organization or not. I don't keep up with MUFON. If you want to do some research with MUFON, you can. They're on the internet. But anyways, getting back to John Bigelow, is that Bigelow heard there was something going on at a ranch located in Nevada, right, located in Nevada. And they said there's not a lot of strange things, not only poltergeist activity, but, oh gosh, UFO, anything that had to do with the paranormal, put it that way. So anyways, is that Bigelow talked to the owners of this ranch, and it was called. They gave it a name. It was called Skinwalker Ranch, And so, anyways, Bigelow talked to the owners, and I think is that he bought them out, and he brought in a scientific. Let's see. Um, I'm trying to think. This is just off the top of my head. Yes, yes. Um, well, anyways, I think of the name in a minute. But anyways, he brought in the scientific group, and they set up shop. And while they were at the ranch, he also had top security, just like Area 51. I mean, it was completely cordoned with barbed wire. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Which means is that nobody else could come in to nobody else could come in to investigate. Now, let me just kind of turn a little bit here. Back channel is that before Bigelow did come in, is that the owners did let investigators come in to investigate what was actually going on. And then when Bigelow came in, that he just put a kibosh on outsiders, and this is when he completely took over. Okay. Anyways, with all the experiments and stuff, is that this scientific group did is that they found out, yeah, there's some hot shit going on, man. I mean, like portals were supposed to be opening, and there was like I said, going anything that had to do with the paranormal was going on at this ranch. Well, what I just heard not too long ago, I think it was about 5, 6 months ago. Yeah, about 5 or 6 months ago, is that Bigelow finally sold the ranch, and he moved everybody out because everything is that they wanted to find out scientifically is that they did. And actually, when the scientists are done with something, they just kind of pack up their gear and off they go to parts unknown. Okay, but like I said, if you want to do more research with Skinwalker Ranch, you can. Now, let me just say is that there's another ranch, and I can't remember the name. I just heard about it not too long ago. Again, it was almost like the Skinwalker. In fact, it's supposed to be even even more paranormal and has more paranormal activity and metaphysical activity going on. So maybe Bigelow will come right back in, buy the damn ranch, and do the same thing, bring in his scientific team, and until they can't do any more research, and close book up, and out they go. But I can't. So, anyways, like I said, I just heard about this ranch about 4 or 5 months ago. So, like I said, I haven't done any major research on it, but I do know about the Skinwalker. Okay. Um, let's see here. Where do I want to go? Oh, the Aviary. Okay. Getting back to the Aviary, like I said, I'm going to read the names and what they do, and I will close. I will close this session out, and and we'll see where we go from. I'll see where it goes from there. All right. Let's start. Oh, excuse me. My back. Okay. I can't see. I'm blind this morning. I hope that you've been liking all my videos on the metaphysical and the paranormal, and also on ufology. I hope that you might be learning something. And if you do, and if you have been enjoying the videos, I thank you for at least taking the time and reviewing them. And I hope that again that you tell your friends about about the channel, and I hope to give you more thrills. As the weeks, months, and years, I hope progress. Okay. Anyways, let's start out with Chicken Little. Chicken Little is Dan Smith, civilian UFO researcher, a volunteer liaison among sources within the Central Intelligence Agency. Most of these people that I'm going to read off have been or were are in intelligence, especially with the CIA. CIA I have to break away here for a moment. CIA has been doing a lot of shit. Okay, a lot of stuff with people. Some people calling it like mind control. I know that they were doing experiments back. The CIA was doing experiments back in the early late 50s. Um, uh, oh, with those who have experienced close encounters. All right. They were also doing experiments with different type of drugs on people, inducing, believe it or not, inducing situations to where people swore is that they saw having some type of close encounter with or close encounter contacts with aliens and with ships themselves. So CIA, getting into remote viewing. Okay, is that back in the 2000s, I think, is that they were doing remote viewing experiments, bringing in psychics, not just psychics, but people who were classified as clairvoyants, people who are clairvoyant. So they brought these people in to do remote viewing. So actually, the CIA has been doing a lot of strange work with within the paranormal and metaphysical realm. Okay. In fact, I even heard one time is that the CIA tried to get into psychic wars with other countries. I mean, like again. People who had the talent for telekinetics, moving to move objects. Okay, so like I said again, is that the CIA has been doing many strange things. So I just mentioned that. But anyways, Chicken Little again, getting back to Dan Smith. Civilian UFO researcher, volunteer liaison among sources within the Central Intelligence Agency, the Congressional Intelligence Committee, and civilian UFO researcher. Smith continually exchanges information and networks with key UFO researchers. Serves as their interlocutor and shares their findings and his own with his sources at the CIA and on Capitol Hill. The parrot, Jack Lee's valet. Everybody should know or should have heard about Jack Lee's valet. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Dee 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 dee. Okay, that's Jack Lee's valet, who has been in the UFO field for many years. He's a PhD formerly an astrophysicist working with Paris Observatory and the Space Committee, which has nothing to do with UFOs. But later, when he came to the United States as principal investigator with Defense Department Computer Network projects, worked with a famed astronomer and dear friend, Dr. J. Anna Hynek, who left and denounced the military's Project Blue Book as a disinformational smokescreen, a prolific author on UFO subjects. Okay, the Penguin, Colonel John Alexander, PhD, U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command, currently involved with NIDS. That's the one with Bigelow. Okay, NIDS, that's the reason why I couldn't remember. Undoubtedly the military cover for the National Security Agency. Alexander is director of the Non-Lethal Weapons Department, Los Alamos National Laboratory, and has been reportedly involved in counterintelligence, remote viewing, and psychic warfare. The Buzzard, Gordon Novo, friend of Alexander and Forrest Gump, of conspiracies, is rumored to be the grassy knoll umbrella man. I didn't want to really get into the JFK assassination. I might do that in my next video. I might talk about that on my next video. In fact, I tell you what, I will talk about that on the following on the following video that I'll make on the presidents who have had actual communication and workings with some alien races. Let's see here. Umbrella Man, at the time of the JFK hit and subsequently stymied Garrison investigation into the affair. Single-handedly brought the entire CIA to its knees for a day. Disguised many of Nixon's Watergate tapes, and most recently is said to have filmed via FLIR Janet Waco Holocaust from a friend's Cessna. That was that. Remember with what's his name, John Koreshek, at Waco with when under President Clinton told Janet Reno to go in, and if Koreshnik would not give up, turn over the compound to the federal government, is that she was going to do a number on the compound, and she actually did, which I thought was a terrible, terrible thing to be ordered. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. Nightingale, Jack Verona, shadow liaison between Capitol Hill and Los Alamos National Laboratory before having recently disappeared. Reportedly, Dale Graff's superior, formerly involved in Project Sleeping Beauty, in which researched the ways to disable enemy target personnel using direct precise frequency radiation electronic. Okay, I could probably get myself arrested for this, but since this is out in the open, I doubt it. Is Hal Putnoff, PhD, ex-NASA SRI physicist with the Institute for Advanced Research in Austin, Texas, SOT, three Scientologists. Remember I talked about Scientology with L. Ron Hubbard. Hubbard believed in UFOs. I think that's because he and remember if I mentioned about Jack Parsons and him back in 1948 doing the Babylon workings, and they thought that they opened up a portal, and this is where or 1946, what was it, 46, 47, 46, 47. Anyways, what they thought is that they opened up a portal where you had all these UFO experiences, especially with the Roswell crash and the crashes at Aztec, New Mexico. Anyways, let's see. Texas. Okay, blah blah blah. Anyways. So that's hell put off. Chickadee, Commander CB Scott Jones, PhD, United States Navy, retired, former officer with the Office of Naval Intelligence and other agencies. 30 years service in the U.S. intelligence overseas, involved in government research and development. Yada yada yada. Just the same. As Hale. The Seagull. Well, Bruce Maccabee, research scientist in optical physics and laser weapons applications at the U.S. Naval Surface Weapons Lab, Maryland. MUFON, psychics photo interpretive consultant. I contacted Maccabee one time. This goes in the early 90s, when I was capturing a lot of orbs, and people were talking about orbs in the senses that is that they were snowflakes, raindrops, not camera straps, but flying insects. You name it. That's what the orbs were. So I decided that I was capturing orbs, and you've seen them on my video, one of the videos in my metaphysical paranormal section for spirits. And so I decided, so I contacted Maccabee, and I said, I'd like to send you a film on what I captured as orbs. Well, he was interested, and he told me to get one of the CDs out. One of the DVDs I created out, and so I did, and I waited and waited, and never got back the disc, but I did get back an email from him, a long email letter, and he said it was very interesting, that he wanted to do more analysis on the orbs itself, and yada yada yada. So, anyways, yes, I did contact Maccabee. Anyways, is that, like I said, he's also in the group as well. Phil Klass. I don't know if anybody ever heard of Phil Klass. He was one of the major advocates of being a UFO debunker. I think he belonged to. He was the editor of Aviation Times, and that he always didn't believe in UFOs. He always came up with with a sound explanation. For his sound explanations of UFO sightings was, again, the planet Venus, the planet Venus, satellites, The International Space, the space station, I think, was still up. I mean, was up by then. Um, um, Birds, you name it. He came up with that sound, with the sound explanation of trying to debunk UFOs. I never personally had any contact. Excuse me, any contact with class. I do know people that have, and they said is that the guy was really okay in that sense. Let's see here. Am I missing anything? There's a few more people in the aviary, but I can't find my notes here and on them. But anyways, like I said, these are the people that have been trying to keep the disclosure from actually happening, and it's too bad. Okay, again, it's just too bad that they just don't want to bring it out. I think is that the American people have a right to bring out um, what what they should know. In fact, even with the Condon report, I thought that when the Condon report was formulated, is that they would bring out the truth um, with Roswell, Aztec, New Mexico, and a few other major crash sites. I knew is that they would not get in with the Condon report that was kind of young. Before people were talking about Area 51 and what was going on over there. But then you had people coming out who have been doing, how should I say, doing in the investigations with 51, and we know, and I think is that now is that 51 has changed, is that a lot of the testing has been moved to Duluth base, and now people are trying. Now the researchers are trying to get into Duluth. I mean, trying to investigate just what the hell's going on over there, or what's going on over there. Okay, again, it's just like back. I think I mentioned about the Montauk project, going to Montauk, New York. This was going back in the early, I think it was again top of my head, about the 80s. About time travel. Okay, and people have said is that who have worked on the Montauk is that people were sent back. I think to 1970, 71, 72, and that's our father supposedly where was our father that they got as for going back into time. So is it possible? I say with the Montauk project, yes. I really do believe it is that it's possible for people to go back in time. In fact, I just saw. In fact, where I happened to see it was on Coast to Coast just the other. What's today? Tuesday. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, about the subject of the Montauk project came up again. So maybe they're doing more new work as to become more advanced of sending people back. But like I said, a lot of stuff in the UFO, like a lot of stuff in the field of ufology, I have not kept up with it for years and years and years. What I have given you is I knew again going back to when I first started out in 1960 in 1966. 60, yeah, 65, 66, going back with Ann Arbor, with the major UFO flap in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And then from there, just continued to follow the road, you might say, until where I am, to where I am today. Yes, I have picked up a few things, like there has been some sightings here where I reside, not too far from me, in fact. Um, that within the last few months, do I write anything? Do I write up anything and send it to MUFON? No, I don't think. If somebody has done that, then it's the people who've been living here where I live may have done that for me. I'm you know. I'm not really the the passion, okay, for the study of has waned. A lot of the passion that I used to have for the metaphysical and for ufology has actually waned. And so why am I doing this, creating vids? It's because it's fun. And I thought, to my way of thinking is to bring out this information. Is like I said, is because when you hear people like Stanton Friedman and Jerome Clark and and what's his name, Schmidt, and others, Kevin Randall, and others, they talk about what's going on today, what's going on in Mexico, Venezuela, um, Spain, France, you know. I think is that the history of going back from back to now is, I feel, more important. We're just not again talking about Roswell. Okay, like I said, to my way of thinking is that our first real major contact was back in 1941 with the Battle of Los Angeles. Okay, but a lot of people don't talk about that. They go right to 47 and say hey, we got a crash. We really got, substantial, there's evidence. We finally got evidence of a crash, and also with aliens. So, and if they do talk about, in a reaction with aliens, like Phil Schneider, for an example, when he was working at 51, or what's his name? Can't remember his name. Anyways, I can't remember his name right now. That also worked for back engineering on flying on a UFO. I wish I could remember his name. I feel that that's more important than talking about how many sightings were seen 3 days ago. People are always going to see something in the sky, or seeing something strange out in the field, um, uh, uh, or whatever. Okay. Um, So, like I said, the history of is more, to my way of thinking, is more important because it just continues. Okay, if we didn't talk about the history and just talked about the sightings, well, when was the first sighting? Okay, even with sometimes the History Channel brings out going back to ancient Egypt. A lot of people have been talking about the pyramids. They've been talking about the pyramids lately again. Okay, and how were the pyramids and how were the pyramids built? How was Coral Castle built? Okay. Um, do we actually have advanced tech? Do we actually have Do we actually have advanced technology from alien races? I'll be talking about that with the president. Okay, in my next video. So you're just gonna have to wait. So I'm gonna keep you in suspense. Okay, it's gonna be very interesting. Um, so, anyways, now you know about the Now you know about the Aviary. You know about John Bigelow and the Skinwalker Ranch. And with that, until next time, bye bye.